All right, I promise I'm gonna get better at this. I don't have the gimbal with me. I don't have my microphone with me. I have a neck beard and I look like hell. But I figured it would be good to show a little short here. I haven't been out here. Well, I haven't been on YouTube for a couple weeks. I've been posting. I've been very busy. Tax season upon me, as well as everything else. Moving homes. Moving homes and everything else. So I'm out at the wash. It's like 50s today, so it's decent. And I'm doing preventative maintenance on the vacuums that I haven't been able to get to because of winter. Basically emptying out dirt containers and cleaning filters where needed. I'm going to be cleaning the filters and checking the motors on vacuum 3 right now. I pulled a full container out. I've also got to get my rake and clean this yard some because it's a mess back here. Start on the edging. There's a lot of stuff to do. But as you see behind me, one of these things is not like the other. I've pulled the dome off of vacuum 3 so I could get to the motors. These are, from the best I can tell, because the serial numbers are gone off of them, 8600 series, single door, J.E. Adams vacuums. Good brand, very good brand. I can get parts for them. I can get generic parts for them, but the single door means that they're a pain in the butt to try to get to the filters. I'll show you what I mean here. Okay, so by single door, I'm going to zoom out here. By single door, meaning there's only the one access door. There's not a door up here to get to the filters. The filters are underneath the motor in these carriers. Now, I have the 110 power knocked down to these. I learned my lesson figuring, they're not going to be powered if I don't have power going to the box. So this is actually the reader for vacuum 4. But long story short, I actually had one of these spark on me, and I realized that it was backfeeding through neutral. They've got a floating neutral in them. It's a little bit weird. It's completely fine, but definitely scared the hell out of me. So I just knocked the power down completely whenever I'm working in it here. Well, it didn't scare me, but it was definitely unwelcome. I also am going to make a new filter. As you see, that base is broken. I'm losing some suction there, quite a bit probably. So I'm going to get to it. The other thing, and I didn't see, but I had the parking lot resprayed. I had the parking lot done with the sealant last fall. My landlord did for the Jiffy Lube. Number one, they didn't do a very good job. I mean, it's already starting to gap some of the areas, and this is just after winter. We haven't even had heat yet. I'm not really pleased with it. The amount of overspray that they got on everything, some of this is just dirt. These need to be pressure washed this spring. But they didn't get overspray on the concrete, but they got it all over my polished vacuums. I mean, it sounds like sandpaper. I gotta get after these things again with a buffer. Irritates me. If you're gonna hire somebody to do something, they need to do it right. All right, I'll start the video here in a second when I get up there and show you how I'm taking these motors off, and we can kind of go from there. Okay, so here are the motors. These are dual motor vacuums. These are Clean Right branded Lamb knockoffs. As you can see, they're about a year old at this point. They're showing they're not happy, but everything out here, we're so close to the ocean, we get so much salt. Things just really are not pleased, unless they are stainless. So ain't a big deal. They don't last that long. They're only like $35 a piece. Well, they've gone up, but like everything else, but still, they're not that expensive. Now, the name brand ones that go in these are expensive. So all you have to do on these series of vacuums is remove the bridge, which I'm doing right now. My tool bag here. Again, none of the electrical to this one is live. Now, I'm going to try and do this to where I don't have to... Hold on one second. All right, I got a bridge off. One of the motors moved. This one's stuck to the bag holder, which I guess is maybe a good thing. But, man, I should really have both a glove and mask on for this. I'll be all right. But these have to be walked out of here. And as you see, it is a lovely job. There's a spring inside here that keeps this from getting sucked in. Makes it very difficult to get out of here. Let me get this thing out and I'll be back. All right, so you can see down in the vacuum, well, you can't really. There's the other filter sock hanging there. I'm gonna have to pull that one out. As you see, it makes an absolute mess, nightmare, etc. I'm gonna cut a piece of foam rubber to go under here and make a better seal. But I'm gonna get working on getting this other one out here. Okay, I got that one out, and down there the spring came out, no big deal. As you see, it's gross, and I've already got a ton of stuff that fell in the bag I just changed down there. Lovely. All right, so essentially I'm gonna put new filters on the springs, attach them to these things, cut a new foam seal to sit here, put the motor on top. I'm not gonna bore you with all those details, but I'll show you the reassembly portion here. All right, so now these are clean. I brushed them off, and I am just feeding this back in here, and I'll put the motor back on top. I'm gonna get both sides. I gotta clean that still, and I'll show you how we tighten it down. All right, a little bit of sun coming out here. So, what we have, you can see these are kind of sitting odd in here. I hate this, but I flipped the bridge over to give me some more room so I can tighten down. These are now sitting up high on these foam pieces. I'm gonna crank this down. It should seal better. We're gonna see how our vacuum is. I didn't have optimal suction in this vacuum when I started doing this, which makes me wonder if we've got one or both motors kind of on the way out. I don't have any shelf spares for these, so I'm gonna have to order some. But if I do, it's literally just a 5-minute job to swap them out. We'll come back when we're back together and testing here. All right, as you hear, they're working. As you see, they are both spinning. It is drawing. It's actually got decent suction, so I am pleased. So, oh God. So now, I just gotta clean out the bin again and then move on to vacuum 4. All right, so I have my AirPods on, so I hope that the recording is coming through well on this. I'm getting ready to work on the final vacuum, vacuum 2. I walked up to it and I found it like this. This is the suction door. If this is open, it's not gonna make full suction. If that seal is in good shape, it's not gonna make full suction. I actually keep those seals on hand. You might ask why I have, hang on, I'm losing my mask. You might ask why I have a door full of dirt that is locked. Who's gonna steal dirt? Well, people go through these looking for spare change, looking for necklaces that people sucked up, things like that. And they don't put things back the way they're supposed to. And then people complain to me that they don't have any suction. So, I'm gonna put a second lock on this one. This is the only one I've had that's popped open like this, but as you see, it kind of needs that. I'm gonna check the seal as well. I'll come back in a second once I've opened and show what kind of disaster this is. The other thing is, if the seal is not perfect, the bucket that holds the dirt will actually suck up and it will block the fitting. I am going to be replacing that bucket on some of these, but the ones that's folding, I have just been getting rid of and replacing because it's they're worn out, and when that happens, it cuts the suction off. I'll come back once I've got this open. All right, let's see what kind of prize is behind door number 2. First things first, I'm checking to make sure there are no black widows. They like to hang out, and I've already had one run-in with one this year. They're getting an early start. You see, somebody's bent this trying to get in here. This is what I'm talking about. So, and it's already a mess. Yep, see, this is what happens when the buckets invert and they put the dirt up too high. I'm gonna put on my mask and start tearing this out and putting it in a trash bag. I'll be back. You don't need to watch me scoop dirt. more fun jobs at the wash. So I'll cover earlier where I did the vacuum stanchions, but now I am just doing some cleanup while I've got people in the bays. Basically doing the entire parking lot with the vacuum. Not because I'm insane, although I am, but because I'm getting a lot of sand and salt up, and I don't want people tracking it into the bays. It just makes things worse. So, yeah. We will continue on with the fun stuff. I have no clue what I'm going to make of this video, but it's a beautiful day. I'm outside. I will talk to you later.